Hi friends, welcome to my channel. I'm Sunique and I just wanted to pop on, it won't be on very long, this one, but something I wanted to share with you. So I've been reading these books. I finished this one, A River Enchanted, and I'm about halfway through the following book, which is A Fire Endless, and it's a two-part series. That the first book I think was 2022, and then the second 2023, so they're recent, and I got these from the library, so there's no need to actually buy them. You can get them from your local library. They are, well, let me back up actually. So last month I was doing a deep study of the Witch Sister Tarot, and this month I'm doing a deep study of two decks together, which is the Circle of Life Tarot and the Wisdom of the Wild Things Oracle. I've been using them side by side, and I've recorded a few little snippet videos that I will share at the end of the month to show how I got on with these. However, there's a correlation here which was amazing. See if I can find the card actually. Oh, there it is. I did put it on the top, ready for this video. This one here, the Ten of Swords. Okay, these two novels are based in an enchanted isle called Cadence, which is a musical term, and it's got about six, maybe 8 main characters in these stories, one of which is a bard. And the background to this Isle of Cadence is very Scottish, and in fact it actually references that in the acknowledgements at the back, I noticed, because Rebecca talks about world building and the books that they used for research and inspiration, and they're all Scottish ones. So the Scots Kitchen, Scottish Herbs and Fairy Lore, the Complete Poems and Songs of Robert Burns, The Crafter and the Laird, and The Tree of Strings, A History of the Harp in Scotland. So yeah, it's very much based in Scotland. So these two books would be, I'd recommend them. If you are using the Witch Sister Tarot, they do give a really nice evocative imagery of that Scottish landscape, very much so, and also the Fey landscape within Scotland as well. It's beautifully written. I love these books. But yeah, getting back to this Ten of Swords. Okay, so in the prologue to the second book, I was blown away because it pretty much describes this card. So I'll give you the background here to this prologue. It talks about a spirit called Kai, or K-A-E, which I presume is pronounced Kai, which is amazing as well because my dog is called Kai, Kaibo, but it's spelt differently, K-A-I, but it actually means dog in Cornish, but it also means other things like a constellation of stars. There's lots of different meanings for the word Kai. And also I live in Newquay, there's Newquay, Torquay, there's lots of places by the sea that end in quay, which is also a derivative of that Kai, which means safe harbour. Yeah, so there's lots of different meanings for Kai, but in this instance, it's a spirit. And Kai has come up against King Bane. Now, King Bane is the wind that brings the storms and damage and catastrophe to the world, as storms do. And she was the messenger to King Bane, and she's refused to take a message to the spirits of, well, to different spirits there, to starve one of the main characters who is a bard, hence Cadence, because Cadence is a musical term. But he is a bard that can speak to the spirits through using a harp and singing. He can actually conjure the spirits up and talk to them. And King Bane is not too pleased about this because it's a direct threat, as he sees it, to his kingship and authority within the spirit realm. And so he wants to punish the bard, Jack, and has ordered the spirits of the land to starve Jack. And Kai doesn't believe they will. She believes that they will ignore this directive, and so has come up against his anger, and in doing so he has attacked her. Bane struck her across the face so swiftly that Kai never saw his hand coming. The blow rocked her, but she managed to remain upright, eyes smarting. A roar filled her ears. She didn't know if it was her own thoughts or members of the court fleeing in a rush of wings. So she'd been summoned to King Bane's court. And he says, "Oh, you're refusing to carry my message, Kai." Kai gave herself a moment to imagine it, bearing this message to Win. And Win of the Wildflowers, this is. The utter disgust that would be on the lady's face. The way her eyes would burn. It was a pointless message, because Kai knew Win wouldn't starve Jack off the isle. She would refuse, not just to challenge Bane, but because Jack's music gave them a thread of hope. And if he left Cadence, their forbidden dreams would crumble into dust. "Yes," Kai whispered, meeting his lambent eyes. "Find another." She turned away from him, her defiance making her feel heady, strong. But she should have known better. One moment she was upright. The next, Bane had torn a hole in the floor. A hole that was dark as night and howling with emptiness. He held Kai, suspending over it. She could not move. She could not breathe. Only think and stare at the inky circle she was bound to fall through. And look at this inky background here. Even so, she did not believe he would do it. "I banish you, Kai of the Northern Wind," Bane said. "You are no longer a favoured messenger of mine. You are my shame, my disgrace. I cast you down to the earth and the mortals you love, and should you desire to ascend once more and join my court, you'll have to be shrewd, little one. It will not be an easy task to rise after you have fallen so low." Pause for the car alarm. There was a searing pain at her back. Kai cried out. She had never felt such agony before. She was burning as if a star had been caught between her shoulder blades, and she did not realise what had caused it. Not until Bane stood before her with her two right wings in his hands, shredded and limp. And you can see these wings here are shredded. Two of her wings. The shade of sunset melting into night, the shade that had been hers and hers alone, broken, stolen, dangling in the Northern King's hands. He laughed at the expression on her face. She felt blood begin to flow down her back, hot and thick. It cast a sweet fragrance in the air as it continued to course down her armour and the curve of her leg, dripping from her bare toes into the void. Drops of gold. "Away with you, earthen lover," Bane boomed, and his court that had remained, all the sharp-toothed spirits who were hungry to see her ruin, laughed and cheered at her exile. She had no strength to fight his hold, to respond to his jeers. Pain bloomed in her throat, a knot of tears and humiliation, and she suddenly fell through the hole in the clouds, into a frigid night sky. Even knowing her right wings were torn away, she still tried to command the air and glide with her remaining left ones. She teetered and tumbled, head over feet, like a graceless mortal being dropped from cloud to cloud. And then on the last paragraph, she felt the clouds melt against her face and listened to the hiss of wind passing through her fingers. She closed her eyes and fully surrendered to the fall. I just thought that was incredible. That actually describes this card. So yeah, I thought I'd share that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to being with you in the next video. Bye friends.